My name is Robin Wong, and this is the Olympus OMD E-M5 Mark III. I managed to get my hands on one of the loaner units from Olympus Malaysia, and in this video I want to talk about a few minor changes that Olympus has quietly made in this camera that I don't think anyone else have talked about yet. So let's do this. Do bear in mind that the small changes that Olympus made in the E-M5 Mark III, they are not game changers, they are not deal breakers, and even if you don't have these changes in the current or existing Olympus cameras, it doesn't make a huge difference. However, the incremental upgrades or the small improvements are a huge welcome, especially for the next generation Olympus camera owners. And I do appreciate Olympus' effort in making the camera better, even in some very small ways. The first change that Olympus made was on the anti-shock setting. The anti-shock in any Olympus camera is actually the electronic first curtain shutter. The main reason why we engage the anti-shock setting is to mitigate shutter vibrations. Shutter shock is a real issue, especially when we use cameras like the E-M5 Mark III, which is designed to be smaller and much lighter. The lighter build of the camera actually amplifies the problem of shutter vibration if there is any. Shutter vibration will happen in any camera with physical shutter mechanisms that actually opens and closes to allow light to come into the image sensor. As long as there is shutter movement, there is a chance of shutter shock happening. The anti-shock is actually electronic first curtain shutter that completely gets rid of any possible shutter shock or shutter vibration that is caused by the shutter movement. However, in the E-M5 Mark III, Olympus made some changes in the anti-shock setting. This is the Olympus E-M10 Mark II. Typically, to enable the anti-shock setting, we have to go to the diamond-shaped icon here. So if you go to the heart shape, it is silent shutter. The anti-shock is here, the one with the diamond shape, right? However, for the E-M5 Mark III, which is this camera now, the diamond shape icon is gone. The anti-shock selection is not available anymore. If you cannot find it here, do not panic. Go to the menu, in camera number 2, anti-shock settings. Here, anti-shock 0, if you enable it, it says when the shutter speed is 1/320th of a second or less, the first shutter curtain is switched to electronic. So when this setting is activated, the anti-shock is already automated. With any shutter speed that is less than 1/320th of a second, you get electronic first shutter curtain. Therefore, once this is activated, rest assured that you do get anti-shock, it's just that you can't turn it on and off anymore. Right? And it makes sense because for anything that is faster than 1/320th of a shutter speed, well, you don't really need anti-shock anymore. The shutter speed is fast enough to get rid of any shutter vibrations. Change number 2. The live super control panel is now a default on the E-M5 Mark III, and you don't have to dive deep into the menu to enable it anymore. I think Olympus users really appreciate what Olympus has done in the super control panel, where they laid out all the important settings in a single page. This allows quick adjustments to some important settings without diving deep into the menu system. On any previous Olympus cameras, the super control panel is not turned on by default. You get this weird kind of menu setting, which is not really easy to navigate. I don't really like this menu system. To enable the super control panel, we have to go deep into the menu and to control live super control panel here, right? And once that is enabled, we get this one-page display of all the important settings. I just never understood why Olympus didn't make this default in the first place. So in this E-M5 Mark III now, the live super control panel is the default on the camera setting. You can just press OK to bring up the live super control panel and adjust all the important settings as you go along. I think this is brilliant and should be the default for all Olympus cameras from now onward. Change number 3. The live view boost on default is now turned off when we shoot in full manual mode. Previously, in most Olympus cameras, when we go to manual mode, for some reasons, Olympus turned on the live view boost. Now, if you don't know what the live view boost is, it basically ignores any of the exposure settings. If you adjust the ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, those changes to the exposure will not be shown on your LCD screen or the electronic viewfinder. Basically, the biggest advantage of shooting with a mirrorless camera is what you see is what you get when you are composing through the live view or the electronic viewfinder. there is a setting in the camera to disable this, which means that the camera will disregard any of our exposure settings and we will have a constantly bright live view to look at. I found this very counterproductive when I'm shooting in manual mode because I want to see my changes as I adjust my aperture, shutter speed or ISO live, and this direct feedback will allow me to prevent overexposure or underexposure of my shots. What I see is what I get, and I really appreciate this when I shoot in manual, and I'm glad that this is now a default setting for the Olympus E-M5 Mark III. For E-M5 Mark III, live view boost is turned off. It means that when we shoot in manual mode, by default, what you see is already what you get, and I believe this should be the way for any cameras to function. Change number 4. The best JPEG compression setting is now available on default, and you do not have to dive deep into the menu to find the hidden setting to enable it. The best JPEG compression for Olympus cameras, any Olympus cameras, is large superfine. For the Olympus E-M5 Mark III and also the Olympus EM1X, these two OMD cameras now have the large superfine compression, which is the best compression setting for the JPEG file. You can enable this directly from the Super Control panel. You don't have to dive deep into the menu to find it. Honestly, I don't understand why Olympus would want to hide the best setting for the JPEG shooting deep in the camera in the first place. Typically, to get the JPEG compression setting, we have to dive deep into the menu to find the superfine compression for the JPEG in any Olympus cameras. However, in the Olympus EM1X and now the E-M5 Mark III, we can access this directly at the Super Control panel, and it is no longer hidden. The large superfine compression setting is already here by default. Change number 5. Bulb, lifetime and live composite modes are now moved from manual shooting to a dedicated bulb mode. There is a new bulb mode on the mode dial. This is also available in the EM1X, and I think that the dedicated B mode or the bulb mode makes sense. On most Olympus cameras, to enable the bulb, lifetime or live composite mode, we have to go to M, the manual mode, and slow down the shutter speed until we reach 60 seconds. I just don't think this is a very convenient way to activate the setting. And after 60 seconds, if we turn over, we get the bulb mode. If we keep turning, we get the lifetime, and finally the live composite mode, right? And it's all tucked away, hidden away at the manual mode, and we have to keep scrolling the shutter speed until we find them. I don't think this is the right way to implement this, and I believe Olympus agrees with this. That's why in the EM10 Mark III and EPL9, there is an advanced photo mode in the mode dial where the advanced settings such as live composite and lifetime can be found. If you take a look at the mode dial of the EM5 Mark III, there is a B, which is bulb mode, right? And to turn on this bulb mode, we immediately go to bulb, and as we turn, we get lifetime and live composite. We don't have to dive deep into the camera anymore, and the settings are not hidden. Finally, the last change that Olympus made in the camera, which I do notice, and also some other Olympus users have commented, is the removal of the FN label. So there are a lot of buttons on the camera that can be customized for specific functions. Previously, they are called function buttons, so they are labeled as FN1, FN2, FN3, and when we go deep into the menu, we can reassign these buttons to other functions that we desire. However, I personally find that the FN markings on the camera makes it look really ugly, and personally I feel that the FN markings are not necessary. Without the FN labels, I think that the aesthetics of the camera is improved. It looks cleaner, simpler, and honestly, I just prefer the much more minimalist design of the EM5 Mark III. I understand that the EM5 Mark III is still on pre-order, it is not available on sale yet, but when you do get your hands on one, do let me know if there are other things that I've missed out in this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will definitely make more videos coming this way. Until the next one, remember to go out to take more photographs. Bye bye.